Academy with a good mate of mine, Dayle Brooks.
Kia ora everyone. Kia ora, Dion.
So we're down here at Parliament, Beehive's just behind us, and there's been lots of reporting everywhere. I've given my official statement on what I think about the protest, but in amongst all this noise, I just wanted to bring you just one story, just to put it in context. There's three types of people down here, bro, from my perspective. There's the pure protesters that are protesting the mandates and freedom to choose. And what we're going to talk about is the parents' right to choose, right?
That's right.
Then we've got another demographic that are called dickheads, that are going to turn up and be dickheads regardless. They just need to be choked out and locked up, all right? So that's pretty easy. And then there's the in-betweeners that are coming in and working this out for themselves. So I'm here just to tell Dale's story. And the first question I'm going to ask everyone is, have you heard of Starship Hospital? So I didn't tell Dale we were going to talk about this because I want you to hear a real Kiwi story. Dale and I were in the army together. He served overseas. He's a good man. His whānau's a good whānau. But brother, there's a really important reason why you're protesting these mandates as a whānau, if you wouldn't mind sharing that, please, bro.
Okay, yeah, Dion mentioned Starship Hospital. So back in end of 2006, we buried our son Isaiah. He had a heart complication, and it was a very traumatic time for us. And to lose one of your children and to bury them before you go is, probably one of the worst things that could happen to a parent. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but through that experience, we gave something back, and that was a gym was built after we lost our son. But during that time, that was our healing to give back. But where I'm going with this, it took us down that path, medical path. Why did this happen? Why was it our son? And further down the track from that, our other boy, Cade, he had an adverse reaction, not to the present day jab they are offering today, but it was one of the ones that the MMR jab that they have, and it was the second one, and he had blackouts and seizures, and so it took us down the route of vaccines. And so as parents do, and for the love of our children, we looked into it and we uncovered a lot of things, Dion, that really shook us, and we decided from that moment on that we would not vaccinate our children until they were 18 and they could make the choice themselves. So that was from our perspective of it, and this is why it's brought us here today to oppose the mandates, to make it a choice. When that choice is taken away from you, and you putting your child's health at risk from our part, from our experience, yes, it's very trying, and it hits home. This really hits home. So the mandates are purely while we're here to end that, so as a parents can make the decision for their children.
I appreciate that, and the reason why this story is so important is because it's one family, and it's a family's decision. And when they lost Isaiah, that was an accepted immunisation that had complications. So we're not against science, not against any of that sort of stuff. But here's a family that's lost one child and had complications of another child because of vaccines, and so quite rightly making the choice to not risk that again. If you've lost one child, you're not going to risk it, right? So they've just come down here. It's not even about COVID or anything else. This is just about, hey, a parent's right to choose what's medically right for their kid. And so when I heard this was all happening down here, I just stayed out of it. People can express whatever they want to do, but when Trevor Mallard turned the sprinklers on my mate, knowing his whānau's story, knowing that they lost Isaiah and Kate's had these issues, and they come down here to say, hey, listen, as a family, I think this should be our right. When I heard that they turned the speakers on my mate with that whānau's story, I just wanted to come down and get the story out. You're going to see on the news people fighting with police. I'm an ex-cop. If you fight with police, you need to be choked out and chucked in jail, right? Sure. But if you're down here expressing your right to protest as a Kiwi, then you should be able to. So people are only going to report the bad stuff, and I just want to put one story down here. This is one whānau that has their own family story, and they've come down to peacefully protest, not get involved in anything. They actually share a lot of love down here, and the response is to turn the sprinklers on them and blast them with music. And I can't have anyone in my tribe be subjected to that without saying something about it. And so the issue that we have in the country right now is there's not a space to have this discussion because no one's talking. But today, as of Saturday the 26th of February 2022, the mandates have been overturned for New Zealand Defence Force and the police. So now we have an historic perspective to look at this. We've now got the protest group down there protesting mandates, no one talking to them. The police and Defence Force have had it overturned. So how do they get overturned? They went through the legal system, legal path. The protesters brought energy and awareness, and nothing will change here with just awareness until we get to this stage here. So what we're all trying to do is create that safe space for dialogue. 6 weeks ago I invited every political leader onto the channel to have the discussion. None of them got back to me except for Marama Davidson, Kia ora Marama. And we're going to have Matthew Tukaki on next week and probably Winston the week after that, and anyone that wants to talk. So as a leader, chief of my tribe, chief of my family and my business, same for you. As a leader, you have to stand up, and if there's any weakness in our country at the moment, it's strategic leadership. And we just need to be seen as Kiwis, and this is one Kiwi family. So I mean, talking to my brothers and sisters in blue, like I'm on their side. When anyone kicks off against cops, I'm going to jump in and help them, because we don't do that, right? And then for anyone that wants to peacefully protest like Dayle and his family, I'm always going to support them. In regards to the protest and everything else, do what you legally and safely can do as a Kiwi.
Excellent. I just want to say, sorry to cut you off, Dion. The brother's been there for me and my family throughout nearly going on 3 weeks here, and I just want to thank him, from my heart. The brothers here, and that's what brothers are for. And that goes back to our army days, and it's just, we can be apart for years, but we can come together and we're still brothers and connect. So I thank you for that, brother.
Bro, you're welcome. Absolutely welcome. Oh, it's all good. So anyone watching this is going to go to my Police 10-7 group as well. Yeah, there's some Muppets down here, but the majority are really good people. And for those that are peacefully protesting, take this energy now into the legal forum. Register to vote, hit up your local MPs and your local councillors and get in there. And the more we can collectively create that space and demand that space, then they're supposed to represent us, and they're here to serve, not rule. And so I'm just sitting at the back as a business owner, supporting those in the Line Academy that are cops, that are protesters, that are doing things legally and safely. So if you ever find yourself at Auckland Starship Hospital, that gym there is because of this man and his whānau, and it's really important that we acknowledge your boy, bro. Both of them, bro.
I appreciate it.
And we love you, bro, and there's lots of people behind you probably never even hear from. So keep your chin up, bro. Love you heaps.
Love you too, brother. Cheers.